After God liberated Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, he told them to return to the land that he had promised them, a land flowing with milk and honey. And as they approached the land, they sent spies out into the land, and they discovered that indeed it was as God had said. It was flowing with milk and honey, but there was a problem. There were giants in the land. Joshua and Caleb knew that their God was big enough to take care of those giants, but the other scouts didn't believe. They didn't have faith in God like Joshua and Caleb did, even though they had witnessed all of God's work firsthand. They had seen the plagues in Egypt. They had seen the Red Sea parted. They had followed a pillar of cloud during the day and a pillar of fire during the night. They had water, they had manna, they had quail. All of that was provided by God, but they still didn't believe. Because of their disobedience, God would not let that generation pass into the promised land. So for 40 years, they traveled in the desert, living in temporary shelters called Sukkot. In Hebrew, Sukkah is the singular of Sukkot, and Sukkot is the plural. Just so you know, because I will be using both of those terms. And this ends today's Hebrew lesson. So although we don't know exactly what the Sukkot looked like, Jewish law tells us, or it has some requirements. First of all, it has to be a temporary structure, just as the original Israelites, as they traveled through the wilderness, set up temporary structures to stay in. They had to be big enough for someone to eat inside. The main thought here is that because God had protected Israel during their time in the desert while living in the Sukkot, that he would continue to protect us now as we live in this world. It is a reminder of God's provision. The ceiling of the sukkah must be made of organic material that is found on the ground, such as palm fronds and stuff like that. You can't cut down anything living in order to cover your sukkah. And we have some palm fronds up here. Another important aspect of the roof is that it cannot be covered so that the stars are not visible. You have to be able to see through the roof. And then the final requirement is that it has to have more than two sides. So we have three symbolic sides on ours. Many Jews today will symbolically set up their sukkah the day following Yom Kippur by putting up a single pole, and then they will come back and finish it later. Many Jews today build them in their backyard or on their porch, and a lot of synagogues will build a sukkah so that the congregation can use it, or anybody that doesn't have the space or the time or the ability to build it. Another interesting fact that is in Israel right now, on multi-story buildings, they never place the porches on top of each other like they do here, so that when they build the sukkahs, they still have a view of the sky. We have erected one here on the east side of the FLC. You are more than welcome to come bring your family and share a meal here. We brought a picnic table in, and we hope you enjoy this festival of booths.